Good afternoon, First Baptist Church, Prineville. Pastor Mike here with the announcement for July 8th. And just a couple quick announcements, then I want to talk about something a little bigger, broader, and deeper. So again, we are having one service this coming week, July 15th, a 9:30 service. And again, we would like you to continue RSVPing on a weekly basis to give us an idea of how many people will be here and how many we need to prepare for. If those RSVPs increase and we see more and more people interested in joining us live on Sunday mornings, then we will consider adding the 11 o'clock service back on there. But with the numbers being pretty low recently, it's better for us to go ahead and have one service. So we're going to do that. It's a 9:30 service. Please go to the website or email us or call in RSVP to let us know you're coming. The earlier the better, so that we can plan accordingly. And we'll plan to have one service for the duration of the summer unless our numbers begin picking up. Now, we want to remind you as well to continue abiding by the current virus guidelines. So in the building, we're asking that everyone wear a face covering while you're in the building at church, and observe 6-foot social distancing as well. And if you're sick, if you feel under the weather, if you have a cough, you're not feeling great, we'd encourage you to stay home. And then also, if you've traveled out of the county, or if you've had visitors from out of the county or out of state, especially if you've gone to or they've come from areas that are harder hit by the virus than we are, then please plan to take a week off so you can make sure that you didn't get something and you're not going to share it with others at the church. Now, with all that, I wanted to take just a minute and talk about reminding you about our mission as a church. First of all, when you think of the word mission, you probably think of something we're going out to do, something we're trying to accomplish, and that's very true. And if I were to ask you what is the mission of the church, you might say something like, well, to worship God, or to fellowship and encourage one another, to grow in the Word of God, to help people in our community. And all those things are true, and those are all things that we do as a church. But all of those things do flow out of a broader understanding of our mission, of what God has called us to do and who He's called us to be as a people. And we have a mission statement that we've actually had for a long time. It's usually in the bulletin every week. And here it is. You might be familiar with it. It's to be a people who embody and proclaim the life-giving fullness of the gospel. And my hope is that as part of FBC Prineville, you've heard that, or you've at least read it, you're familiar with it, if you haven't already memorized it and have it kind of in your vocabulary already. It's a sentence that I hope will become something that simply rolls off of our tongues very easily as a church. And I want to just give you a brief summary of what it means and what we're about because of this mission statement. First of all, it says that we're a people, and that is about our identity as the people of God. And as God's people, we're in relationship with each other. So we're a people in relationship who are being sent on God's mission. So the first thing it tells us about is our identity. Secondly, it's a mission statement that calls us to action. It calls us to embody the gospel, to live out what we believe in a practical, boots on the ground, real life kind of way, embodying what we believe Jesus embodied for us when He came, became a human being, and walked this earth and gave His life for us. We want to embody that same kind of reality wherever we're at. Third, this mission statement calls us to bold speech. It doesn't just call us to go out and live lives that look like the gospel. It also calls us to speak the gospel, to tell others about Jesus, because at its core, the gospel is a message. And a message unspoken is a message that is unheard. And our task as God's people isn't just to live out the gospel, but it's also to take opportunity to boldly proclaim God's love for everyone around us. And then finally, I'd like to point out that this mission statement calls us to an entire life that is marked by, that's wrapped up in, that's informed by the gospel. Because if the gospel's true, then it's life-changing. It's God's way of bringing us from darkness to light, from death to life. And as God changes us, it should affect every area of our life. It should affect our relationships, our work, our emotions, our families, our neighborhood, our activities, our recreation, our thoughts, our beliefs, our allegiances. The gospel is life-giving. There's a fullness to it that should mark every area of our life. And we believe in a whole gospel that affects the whole person. It truly is a life-giving gospel. So friends, I want to put out there today and just remind us again that the gospel, the good news that God has changed everything through Jesus Christ, is what shapes us. It's what makes us the church. It's what gives us life and what gives us meaning. It's what our entire lives should revolve around. That's our mission. It's why we exist. Again, to be a people who embody and proclaim the life-giving fullness of the gospel. And my hope is that in the coming weeks, the coming months, the coming years, you'll not only hear and see this mission statement as you're a part of FBC Prineville, but that you and I and us together will live it out more and more together each day. Thank you.